So what exactly is swap charges? A swap charge is also known as an overnight financing fee. It's the cost or payment associated with holding a CFD contract or leverage trade overnight. Now, the swap charge is usually applied at the rollover time, which is usually around 5 p.m. New York time. Now, swaps exist because when you trade CFDs, you are basically borrowing funds to control a more significant position in the market. The swap charge reflects the cost of holding that position after the daily market close. That means even if I have an open trade and even if that trade stop loss or take profit is not hit for a very long time, I might still be paying a swap charge to just keep that trade open. Which means if the market does not trend and keeps just moving sideways, I might still be losing money on that trade purely because of the swap. Now, the swap charge is not just a random number, right? It's usually based on each individual symbol's trading conditions. That can be things like interest rate differentials in the case of currencies, or even borrowing and funding costs in the case of indices and commodities. Now, if you have no idea what interest rate differentials or funding costs and borrowing costs are, don't worry about it. Just know that swaps are not just some random numbers, they are based on every individual asset's trading conditions. Now, most traders focus on trying to avoid swap charges by making sure that they close all of their open trades before the market closes, and that's fine. But there are some cases where traders can actually earn swap payments, and this is called a carry trade strategy. Let's see how this works. When you trade a currency pair, you're always dealing with two currencies at the same time. One that you are buying and one that you are selling. When you buy a currency pair, you are buying the first currency known as the base currency, and you are selling the second one called the quote. Now, when you sell a currency pair, you are selling the base and buying the quote. However, in leverage trading, you are not actually exchanging the physical money for a physical currency. Instead, you are borrowing one currency to trade the other, and this is where swap charges comes into play. Since different currencies will have different interest rates at any given time, holding a position overnight means that you're paying interest on the currency you borrow and you are earning interest on the currency you hold. Now, if the currency you buy has a higher interest rate than the one that you sell, you can actually earn the swap. That's very important. So in this example where we have the Euro-Swiss currency pair, if we buy the Euro-Swiss, we are buying the euro and selling the Swiss franc at the same time, or borrowing the Swiss franc at the same time. This means when I buy this pair, I will be earning interest on the euro and I will be paying interest on the Swiss. If I sell the pair, however, I will be selling the euro or borrowing the euro and buying the franc, which means I will be paying interest on the euro and earning interest on the franc. Well, let's take a practical look at how this might work. In this example on our website, we can see the Euro-Swiss currency pair. And in this example, the Eurozone had a much higher interest rate compared to Switzerland. That means that if we were to buy the Euro-Swiss franc or go long the Euro-Swiss franc, we actually have a positive swap of $1.76 because we are earning interest on a higher interest currency like the euro and we are paying interest on a lower interest currency like the Swiss. When we sell the Euro-Swiss or go short the pair, we have a negative swap, since we are earning a lower interest on the Swiss compared to what we are paying on the euro. So coming back to our example of this long trade we had in the Euro-Swiss pair, this trade was open at this stage for 32 days, which means we earned a swap of just over $50, which is that $1.76 times the 32 days. That's great, but here's the risky part. What if we weren't long this pair and instead what if we were holding this as a short trade? If we were holding this as a short trade, we would have been down on this trade over $300 in swap fees just because of the swap alone. Ouch. So swap charges is always something to keep in mind if you are planning to hold your trades open overnight.